Hi, welcome to your final card of today's special Berry Blessings card class. I do really hope that you enjoy putting these cards and designs together. Our last card is a Slimline card design featuring some of the DSP, these lovely fussy cut images, a little bit of heat embossing, some twine, and of course some layering inside the card. So this is my favourite card in the whole set. And we're going to put this together right now. So you're going to need your trimmer. Okay, so for your trimmer we're going to start by cutting that card base. Okay, and the card base, we're working in centimetres. We're going to pop it in our trimmer so that it's landscape and the long edges at the top. We're going to cut that down to 20 centimetres. So we're just cutting a little bit off the end. We're going to turn and cut it at 20 centimetres again. My trimmer didn't want to cut that very well. I think I'm due a new blade in my trimmer. And then whichever way you've got that round now, it's a square so it doesn't matter. We're going to score that at 10 centimetres. That then gives us our nice slimline card base. Okay. Down there. We now want a real red layer and we're going to take that down by 1 centimetre. So with the card in our trimmer in a landscape orientation with the long edge at the top, we're going to cut that at 9 centimetres. Okay. Turn that round and cut it down to 19 centimetres. Like so. Now for our DSP, this is the DSP sheet that you're going to cut everything out of, but on the back is that beautiful gingham pattern. So we're going to cut a layer that is 0.5 centimetre smaller. So we're going to go down to 8.5 centimetres. Give it a turn and go to 18.5 centimetres. Okay, so those are our pieces for the front. So we'll do the front first and then we'll put the inside together. Okay, so adding a little bit of Tombow, we're going to add our DSP to that. Okay, and then before we add that layer to the front of our card, we're going to tie some of the twine around it. Now you have a metre of this, so you've got plenty. So mine is still on the reel. So I'm just going to take that round once and round twice, giving myself enough to tie a nice bow with. Okay, let's just trim that off like so. Now this is going to run roughly through the centre of the card. Okay, so just pull that nice and tight, turn it over. And then what you're going to do is you're either going to add some washi tape or some tear and tape just to hold that twine in place while you're putting the card together. It doesn't matter if you use tear and tape or washi tape because you're not going to see that at all. And then we're going to add this to our card with some dimensionals. So there's lots of dimension on this card, lots going on. Just take care if you're posting it that you make sure you add the right amount of postage. I've been caught out a couple of times on that. And now we can add this to the centre of our card. Okay. Leaving our little tails nice and loose, we can bring in our circles. So to start with, we're going to put our red circle on. And I'm putting these on with dimensionals as well. I've put one either top and bottom so that that twine can run through the centre of that. Okay, and then we can add our white circle. Now that we've added that, we can add our bow. We can tie our bow so that that sits right by the edge of our circle. I don't know about you, but I find it easier to tie bows upside down than anything else. And then you just trim off your little tails to the length that you want them to be. Okay, so our card is starting to come together. We've now got our strawberries that we can layer in and around. And I'm going to add these with some wet glue. The second one that's going to go over that ribbon I'm adding with a dimensional, and then this one here we can add with some wet glue. And then our little flowers, not little flowers even, our leaves, I'm just going to tuck under as well. Lovely. And then for our sentiment, I'm going to use the sentiment that's Happy. It's a lovely script font, and I'm going to add that to our card with some heat embossing. So I've got some black cardstock. I'm just running my embossing buddy over, and then using my Versamark, I'm going to stamp that. And then bringing in some embossing powder. Tap off the excess, and then we can heat that. Oops. Just pulled my plug out, I think. Yes, I have. Sorry about that. Here we go, it's just starting to set now, it's going nice and shiny. Lovely, so that is all set nice, and I'm going to fussy cut around this. Okay, so just following that outside. Just notice that tail of that Y isn't quite set. I'm just going to do that again. That's better. Okay, just missed that ever so slightly, sorry about that. So then just following the outline of our word, leaving a little black border around the edge. Go. This is a wonderful sentiment. It goes with so many. There's a set of other little add-on sentiments in the set as well. I'm sure many of you already have this. I know it's very, very popular in our mini catalogue this year, and especially with me, I'm a big fan. Okay, so just following this edge around. Nearly there. Make sure not to chop bits off. Just like so. Okay, so now we can go ahead and add this to our card. So I'm just going to add a little bit of wet glue to the middle section of our sentiment. Happy. and then sending lots of. That comes from the same stamp set, and I want to stamp that in real red ink just onto a piece of basic white, and then we can trim that into a little banner. Like so. Okay, pop that back on. It's just adding all those little extra details, and then we can do the inside of our card. So for the inside of our card, we're bringing back in that real red cardstock, and we want to cut a layer that is, just bring out the yarn. We want to cut a piece that is 9 centimetres wide by 19 centimetres long, and this time you're going to cut a piece of basic white card that is 1/2 centimetre smaller, so we're going to 8.5 centimetres, and we're going to 18.5 centimetres. If you're working in inches, I would just take that down by 1/4 inch every time. Okay, so then now we can put these bits inside our card. So we've got our real red layer, followed by our basic white layer. I would usually use Stampin seal, but mine has run out and I'm just waiting for my new one to arrive. And then inside we've got this last sentiment, which I have stamped on the inside of this sample one in red, but I'm actually going to stamp it in black to bring in that black and white feel. Okay, and then that can go in the centre like so. I think that's much better actually. And then the last thing we need to do is just add our little flower, which I missed from the front. Okay, and there we have our finished slimline card, and the last card in our set today. So I do really hope you enjoy putting these cards together. Please share your finished products with me, your finished projects with me afterwards. I'd love to see them. And that's it from me. So have a great day, and thanks for joining my class this week. Bye.